What
Listen,
up, boy?
yeah. Yo, Keith, you still got the waves, man.
Baby, I've been here for a minute, man. I've been here for a minute, man. You was screaming me out, and I was sitting right here waiting on you, baby. What's good?
I know. Let me tell you something, Keith Sweat. Hold up, before you go on. I don't love you. I overlove you. I don't look up to you. I worship you. You are beyond iconic in my book. You know, because when I was listening to Keith Sweat, I had no hope. You know, I was trapping. I was in the streets hustling. There was no way I knew that I was going to be Fat Joe the rapper and ever even get to talk to Keith Sweat. So you're in a place where you're so untouchable to me. You understand what I'm saying? So when you must, yo, Keith, let me tell you something. I don't act this way with people. Nah, I'm gonna tell you something. Yo, Keith, I don't act this way. You know, when I get around you, I'm always like, yo, Keith, man, you got all this. I'm not like that. Like, I just want you to know, I am not like that with people. I just want you to know that, you know, you are the soundtrack of my life. That's I don't know how else to put it to you. And I'm thinking, you know, Keith Sweat, you're a funny dude, man. And you know what I noticed by watching this Teddy Riley battle? I said to myself, a lot of guys are special. Like, artists are really special. Like, you know, and I guess I'm special. I guess some of my friends come around me and be like, yo, Joe a trip. You know what I'm saying? But when I get around Keith, I say Keith Sweat is definitely a trip. Now, Keith, Harlem.
Right.
You grew up in Harlem.
Right.
Tell me what it was like growing up in Harlem.
Well, you know, I mean, it looked like it was a struggle like anything else, you know what I'm saying? I grew up in the projects, Grand Projects, 125th Street, Harlem, you know what I mean? So, I mean, like, it was like, you know, you're growing up in the projects, raised by a single parent. So it was kind of, you know, it was a struggle. So I just felt like I had to make something out of my life because I wanted to make my mama proud because she raised 5 kids on her own. So you know how that go. You know what I'm saying? You always want to make your mama proud.
But the thing about Harlem is that Harlem, and even when I look back at documentaries, like even before we was born, it was always the place to be. It was always, if you was fly, you ended up in Harlem. Like, if you was fly, you was from New Orleans, you was from wherever, they was like, yo, we got to get to Harlem. You know? And so you grew up in Harlem, you know, you grew up in the projects, but you was going outside seeing the biggest guys in the world fly, pushing the Bentleys and all. Like, that's always been a part of Harlem, am I right?
Yeah, everything. God, you know, all the big drug dealers, everything. That was a part of, that was Harlem. That was Harlem. You know what I mean?
So who was out there, like Guy Fisher?
All of them, Guy Fisher, you know, the Nicky Barnes area. It was that whole era. You know what I'm saying? So, that whole time.
So you know that. So when we're looking at Forest Whitaker and the King of Harlem and all that, the series, was it like that? Was it like
I mean, it was. I mean, I was young, so I seen all that growing up. You know what I mean? I seen them run the Apollo and all that type of stuff. So I was young and seeing all that type of stuff growing up.
So you was watching them own the Apollo and all that?
Yeah, I was watching them own the Apollo. I was, you know, in the little clubs in Harlem. I seen them in the clubs in Harlem while I was trying to come up and trying to make it and stuff. You know, so we seen all that. That was
when did you say to yourself, I'm gonna be an artist. I'm gonna be a singer. I'm gonna be one of the biggest to ever do it. Like, when did you say that?
Like, that was just a side piece for me. That was just something to do for me in the beginning. It was something like, yo, you know, it was something like, cause I grew up in that Blue Magic. You know, I was a kid looking at the Blue Magic, the stylistic, all that. So so that was just a side thing for me at that point. You know, I really didn't take it serious until, you know, I started seeing the New Edition on TV and all of that, you know what I mean? Or the New Edition and all that. That's when I started really.
So when you saw, like, Mr. Telephone Man.
Yeah, all that. That's when I was.
I could do it.
Right. That's when I decided I was gonna do it. Or when I seen Levert, the OJs, and those type of people. So that's when I decided that's what I really wanted to do at that point.
My Uncle Dan, he exaggerates a lot, and he tells me he used to work with you in Wall Street. Is this true?
Well, yeah. Well, I did. I was on Wall Street. I was used to work with Payne Weber, Prudential, Payne Weber, and commodities. So if he said he was in Full World Trade with me, he was
Yeah,
definitely in Full World
that's what he
Trade
was
with me.
saying. He said one day you left and you said, "Yo, I'm out of here. I'm gonna make
Yeah.
it singing." And he said, "What?" I don't know if it's true. He said one day you came back in a fly car to Wall Street and you was like, "Yo, I made it." I don't know. I mean, he'd be exaggerating, Uncle Dan, but I mean,
Nah,
he always
like
tells me
like
that
like
story.
what happened is, like I was on the floor, you know what I mean? So basically, I saw when I dropped out Warner, right? And once I dropped out Warner, I realized I couldn't work because people were sneaking up there asking me for autographs and everything, you know what I'm saying? So it just got a little hectic. So, real talk, my man Mark Siegel from ICM called me. He said, "Man, you got to go on the road. The record is too big. You just can't. You can't work. You don't need to be going into work every day no more. The record too big. You can't. I said, "Man, I'm not leaving my job. I'm not leaving my job on Wall Street." So he said, "Well." So he said, "Well."
Yeah.
So he said, "Well, how much it's gonna take for you to leave the job on Wall Street." I said, "Listen, let me tell you something. You can give me some money. I'll go on the road for a minute. But then, you know what I'm saying, I'll just take a leave of absence." So what I did was take a leave of absence. But I never quit. I took a leave of absence, but I never went back. So the leave of absence is still there.
And that's the testimony to where you at now is where your work ethic is crazy. I remember, and I don't want to skip because I want to go back to there, but I remember when I asked you to come perform at my birthday party like 2 years ago, and you was like, "Joe, how can I perform?" And you gave me your schedule, and you was booked every day. This is a year ago, yo. Keith, you was like, and we moved my whole birthday party around for you because you was only available on a Sunday because you had the whole week booked. I was like, yo, Keith Sweat still getting major paper 2019.
Yeah, I was booked up, and I want to thank you for that because I really wanted to be there. You know what I'm saying? It was like really important for me to be at your birthday
You don't
party.
know what you mean to me.
Yeah.
So my people.
And when you told me you was gonna move your birthday party around, you know what I mean? I'm like, hold up, wow, you gonna move your birthday? And they said, "Man, I gotta have you there. I gotta have you there, man. I gotta have you."
Shout out to Natina. She went hard for you. So I said, so now you become this major success. I'm still in the street. Hard. And I just got to tell you real quick. I was just talking to Swiss Beats. And so there was this guy, rest in peace, good friend of mine. His name was Howie. Howie was like, he looked like LL Cool J, 7 foot tall. Howie got shot 13 times. But he had this 325 convertible piped out wide body kit sound system. 2 of them, a white one and a red one. And the only way we knew that Howie was coming is he be turning that corner and he be, "You made me young, but and it's crazy because even though you was making R&B songs, did you realize you was making drug dealer music, like drug dealer anthems?
I mean, I kind of knew because that was the time I grew up in. You know what I mean? I knew I knew that the songs I was doing was like because when me and Ted got together, we put that hard thumping and we put that 808 in the joints. So it was that the music that people wanted to hear because it made you feel like you had a system in your car even though you didn't have a system in your car.
Yeah, you had you was probably the first R&B artist with the 808. Slow R&B, so like that 808.
Yeah, so I have to thank my boy Ted for that. You know what I mean? So because Ted was doing the hip hop beat, so I was doing the soft and sweet music. So we decided to just put both of them together Cause like Ted said to me, I said, man, Ted said, man, I don't do R&B. I said, man, if we just mix the music with the hip hop beat, yo, we got something special. And we started doing that, and then it, we won with it. You know what I'm saying? So
Did you watch the Teddy Riley battle with Babyface?
Yeah, I watched it, and I have to give a shout out to Swiss Beats and Timberland, man. They doing they doing such an amazing thing for the culture, man. And I definitely got to give them a shout out, man, because that
versus, was. So you was going Teddy or you was going Baby? Because I know you know all of them.
I mean, I got love for Ted because, you know what I'm saying, he was throwing that Keith Sweat in there too, you know what I'm saying? So, like, I got, I mean, but you know what I'm saying, I'm friends with both of them. So, I mean, like, for real, like me and Ted, when we first came out with the my album, we was mixing the album to one of Babyface's records to make sure the mix. Right, to make sure the mix was right. You know what I'm saying?
What mix was that?
That was like when he I forget the album, but I think it was the one where I cook your dinner. When I get home from work, you know what I mean? Yeah. So whatever album that was, right. Whatever album that was, we was mixing my joint to that album,
sonically,
right? To make sure it was sonically right. Yeah.
So now, yo, Keith, let's take you straight to the wedding in New Jack City.
Come on, man. Come on.
What was that like? That's going like 100 years from now. They're going back to New Jack City.
Right. Well, the real talk, right? Real talk, and Ted noticed, and it ain't Ted's fault. I was supposed to be singing "Let's Chill" in the wedding scene. You know what I mean? We had wrote
"Let's Chill" was gonna be your song. It was wrote for you.
Yeah. We had wrote "Let's Chill" for that scene, but you know what I'm saying? Something happened where I didn't get
Jopra moment. Diddy called me Jopra, the Spanish Oprah. So this is a Jopra moment. So "Let's Chill" was written by you and Teddy, and it was really originally supposed to be yours.
Me, Teddy, Bernard Bell, you know what I'm saying? It was supposed to be us, you know what I'm saying? I mean, Bernard and Ted wrote the majority of it, but it was supposed to be my joint to go into the wedding scene of New Jack City. So what happened is, you know what I'm saying? I mean, it ain't had nothing to do with Ted, ain't had nothing to do with nobody. Management made the call that, the song wasn't going to be my song. I couldn't do the song. Management made that call. I'm quite sure you know who management was at that time. You know what I mean? So I had one day to do a song for the wedding scene. So I went in the studio and wrote "There You Go Telling Me No Again" in one night. You know what I mean? One night I had to go in there.
There you go telling me no.
Because "There You Go Telling Me No," "There You Go Telling Me No Again" ain't got nothing to do with no wedding. So I had to go write that song in one night and we just threw it in the movie because I had to go in the studio that same night and write it. Because if I didn't go in the studio and write it in about 2 or 3 hours, it wouldn't have been. Nah,
you know that, and you know that movie is like forever.
Right, definitely.
Brown is forever.
Right, There you go.
It's forever. And so being that we right there on your writing skills, because I didn't want to go there, but we're gonna go there. Who else you wrote music for?
I wrote "Freak Me" for Silk. I wrote "Lose Control." I wrote the whole Silk album, the whole first Silk album. I wrote. I've written for Ron Isley. I've written for Levert. I've written for the OJs. I've written for Drew. I've written for Drew Hill. I've written for a lot of people, man. I wrote.
So you wrote a lot of stuff, right? I'm gonna say you're the first guy because it's like this. This is the way it normally works. You're Spanish. You want to get out the Bronx, New York. You move down to Miami or you move down to Orlando. You're Black. You want to get out to Harlem, the Bronx, Brooklyn. You go to the ATL.
Mm-hmm.
At what point you felt like, at what point, because you're the first person in New York to make the transition to the ATL. You are.
Right, I know. I definitely
remember
was.
being a young kid hearing, yo, Keith Sweat down in the ATL wilding out. And I ain't even been to the ATL yet. And it was like, yo, this guy got clubs, he got studio, he got record. Like what made you want to move to the ATL that early though?
Right, yeah. Well, but what happened is this, right? You know, knowing I was on Wall Street. I've always been one of those people that I wanted to get the most for my money. So what happened is I was on tour. I think it was the triple threat tour. It was me, BBD, and Johnny Gill. That tour, that triple threat tour.
I remember that one.
So, like, I had family in the ATL, and they was like, "Man, you need to move to the ATL. You see the little house you getting in New York? You can get triple the size of this house and for that money in ATL." So, you know, once I came to the ATL, I just started looking. I really wasn't serious about moving down here. But I started looking around, and I said, damn, you know what, man? I'm getting ready to spend $500,000 to $1 million on this house, and it's small, and I can spend $1 million on this house, and it'll look like it's worth, you know, 4 or 5.
You feel like a big dog when you.
Right. You know, so what I did.
It's still to this day. You go to the ATL and you can get some shit way cheaper than you could somewhere else. Like I live in a crackhead house. If you ask me, this is small as fuck. No, I'm telling you the truth. But my mortgage $13,000 a month. Like, cause I'm in Miami on the water, so it's like. But if I went to the ATL, I'd have got some shit with a dog racing track in front of it, with some waterfalls and shit. Nah, we always know. Shout out my brother Diamond D. We always know the ATL. The ATL was special. It's a special spot. So you went down there. It was you, LaFace. It was
Bobby was here.
Bobby Brown was there.
Yeah, he was here.
You had Dallas Austin.
Right.
But you know, as far as I knew at that time, Jermaine Dupri, he was young, but you was running the whole ATL. Like the words I was in.
Yeah, I had opened up a few clubs here, restaurants here. So I mean, I came down here and, you know, and initially I was doing my thing. You know what I'm saying? It was things that I did here that I couldn't have done in New York. So, you know, so I came down here, and like you said, I was one of the first New Yorkers to come down here. And so I just wanted to wild out. I mean, and I had fun doing it. You know, I experienced a lot of things. I wilded out. I did a lot. And I never thought I would move.
You, right? Another question I got for you. So, I want you to be honest with me, Sweat. We talking about old shit,
okay.
Listen, when you got popping on fire, because I ain't gonna lie to you, the only time I saw Keith Sweat was in the stadium, Madison Square Garden, some big shit with the band in the middle of the stage. Trust me, I was there, right? And but when you got the most popping, who surprised you? What chicks at that time surprised you that came at you? Like big, like big actress, singing, like I need two, Keith. That's
no, man.
30 years ago.
I can't do that. You know,
yo, Keith, that's 20, 30 years ago.
I can't. You know how I am. I can't do nothing.
Yo, Keith, did you ever meet Apollonia?
No, I never met Apollonia. No, I never met her. Never met her. Never met Apollonia. Don't try it, man.
No, I'm not saying that. I just, you know, because when I think about Keith Sweat and how much the ladies love you, and I said to myself, like, damn, who went at Keith Sweat? I ain't say you did nothing with him, but you were just like.
There was a few that came at me that was on you know, but I didn't entertain it, to be honest with you.
It ain't your style. It ain't my style either.
Yeah, I didn't give it. You know what I'm saying? And you know, it's just that Yeah, you know, you said it right. It's just not me. You know what I'm trying to say?
It's
There was
not my
few.
style either.
Yeah,
Straight
yeah.
up.
So I mean, I just didn't want to do that. You know what I mean? I just felt like it just drew too much attention for me. You know what I'm saying? And so I just didn't want to do it.
Hey yo, did you ever have another artist that and this ain't once again you ain't gotta answer, this ain't controversial, but you ever had another artist that you specifically like I'm gonna tell you, when I used to sit down to make my albums, I used to put a poster of Jay-Z up where he was the hottest guy, or Nas or whatever, and I felt if my album wasn't as good as that, or my singles wasn't as good as that, I wasn't really doing. Did you have an artist that you was like viewed as your competition? Like they did their thing and then you was coming with yours.
I mean, you know, like uh, I think every solo, every solo artist out at that time, I felt that about. You know what? You know what I'm trying to say? Even groups, I felt like I wanted to compete. Yeah, and it was a friendly competition. It was because you had Johnny Gill out there, you had Gerald Levert out there, you had all them out there. So every time I dropped something, it was really in competition to what they were dropping. To be honest with you, it was never. It was we were friends, but we still were in competition with each other. You know what I mean? Even in concert, it'd be like,
There
yo,
wasn't nobody that you was just like, yo, I'm, I'm, I'm gonna give this to him. Like this dedicated to, like,
I mean, that's how I felt. No, that's how I felt about everybody. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna get this to them. You know what I'm saying? They drop something, and I'm like, yo, I'm out do this. I'm out doing with this. You know? I mean, so I just felt like that about everybody, and I think that's what made me who I am because I was always competitive, but it was a friendly competition. It was not like, yo, I can't stand this dude or he whack or whatever like that. You know what I'm saying? Because we were all friends. We would all get on the phone and talk, talk trash to each other. You know what I mean? We would get on the phone and like, yo, nigga, I'm dropping this, I'm doing this. And I would get on the phone like, yo, you need to check this out. And I listen to this. You know what I'm saying? Even with the groups. The only reason I did Silk, right? The only reason I did Silk, right, is because you had Jodeci out there, you had Boys and Men out there, you had other groups out there, right? So I said I need a group that's gonna compete with the rest of these groups because I'm a competitor. I said now if I drop this group, right, and I was hard on them. They'll tell you I was real hard on them. It was like when they was in the studio, I was like, yo, sing it again, and they would say, man, I want to sing it this way. And I said, nah, man, you gonna sing it. You gonna be some mini Keith Sweats. You gonna sing it the way I need you to sing it. So they didn't understand it in the beginning. You know what I mean?
They're still eating off of that now.
They yeah, they didn't understand it in the beginning, but they understood it after it came out because Happy Days came out, right? That was the first single off the album, Happy Days, Silk album, right? And it didn't do nothing. And I was kind of nervous because it didn't really hit like I wanted it to hit. Because I was, back then, I was accustomed to everything I dropped, it was hitting. So they dropped Happy Days, it didn't hit. Then all of a sudden, about 4 weeks later, I hear Freak Me getting played all over the country, all over the radio. Like, I'm like, yo, who dropped that record? So the record company hit me, man, we got to put this record, Freak Me, out. I said, Freak Me? I said, hold up, wait a minute. They playing Lick Me Up and Down on the radio? Because during them times, I didn't think they was going to play no Let Me Lick You Up and Down. You know what I'm saying? So they said,
when I'm talking about 10 years ago, I made Make It Rain. Stephen Hill, who was my brother, president of BET, never played my video because I had some girls in like bathing suits. And I'm watching the videos now. They got chicks butt naked, blurred out behind Young Thug, Travis Scott. I'm like, damn, they wouldn't even let a girl with like balloons, not even the G-string, the panties, bathing suit. He was like, I told you I don't want no girls in this Make It Rain video. And they wouldn't play my shit. But these guys got butt naked chicks. Like, the game done changed, huh?
Right. Definitely. The game definitely done changed because a lot of things they get away with now we could never get away back in the day. We could never get away with that back in
And
the
it
day.
never got you upset that they were saying that you was begging for the you know what. They say Keith Sweat, when I think of Keith Sweat, I say I step on stage, girls scream like I'm Keith.
Right.
Other people can hear Keith Sweat and they like, yo, Keith Sweat, man, he was begging for that body.
I love that. I love that. You know why I love it? Because, everybody, like Teddy Pendergrass, he was the teddy bear. Everybody had they title. So they call me the beggar. So so when I get on stage, I say, yo, fellas, I beg so you ain't got to beg, baby. So that's what I do. I beg so you ain't got to beg. So I love the title, and I'm in my, it's like everybody talking about who the king of R&B. Like there is no kings of R&B, because like I said, there are so many people that do great music. You got Tank out there, myself out there, Bobby out there. You got so many people out here that Tyrese. You just got so many people out there that really are in their own lane. You understand what I'm saying? And it's just great that we all feel the way we feel about. We are passionate about. I forgot Joe. That's my man Joe, and we're just passionate about.
I know Joe Legend.
Yo, that's my boy. Joe.
Let me play this
Johnny.
for you right here, Keith. And marinate for 1 second. Right? I was scared to fly. And when nobody came out, I would drive back and forth to Miami, and I had a Lexus at the time, and I would have her on the pet. When you in that Butterflies, that brand new shit, I would play that song at least 50,000 million times from the whole New York to Miami singing, and we sing it back to each other. And shout out to Raul, my brother, he was like tired of nobody. And so this song, it hit different. It hit different to me because it's everything to me. How did you come up with Nobody, man?
And I just happened to be in the studio, and I was just like, what can I do? What song can I come up with that's just flying crazy? You know what I mean? And it was like, we just started messing with the chords, and I wanna see you, and it just was like that, and like we was messing with the chords. Who can love you like me? Nobody. So we was just messing with the chords like that, and we was just playing around. And I said, yo, if I just say on every line, I just say nobody, like that'll be fly. It's like a chant, you know what I'm saying? So it ended up being the way it was.
A chant?
It's just a chant, you know what I'm saying? So they use it for everything now, you know what I'm saying? So
let me tell you something. I'm gonna tell you about all your fans that ever been to a concert that Fat Joe's at a Keith Sweat. They're like, that boy a fool. I be in the middle of the lane singing that shit like it's me. I'm so embarrassing when I go to a Keith Sweat concert. I'm gonna give you one more. This is one of my favorite sleepers from Keith Sweat, but I want to ask you close. Where did you find them? Was that your group?
Yeah, that was my group too. Actually,
shout out to Timbo the King, Timberland on the checking bagad.
After the somebody definitely they brought them to me in the studio, and they said, yo, I got some girls that can sing. Like I'm real funny about singers, female singers. Like it's like, let me hear you riff. And that girl riffed one time for me. Like all it took for her to do was riff one time, and that run was so crazy and ridiculous. I said, all right, come on, we going to the studio tonight. It was like instantaneous.
Like that.
It was just like that, instantaneously.
When I met God Bless the Dead, Big Pun, I heard him rap one time, put him in the car, let's go to studio tonight. Like, it's really nothing. When Keisha Cole's on the check-in, Timberland's on the check-in, Swiss Beats on the check-in, the whole industry's on the check-in, Keith Sweat. They all really want to know, I'm gonna tell you what they called me behind your back. Swiss said, "Would you do the verses you and Bobby Brown?"
I I I'm gonna talk to Swiss about that off the IG. But I won't. I have to do it live if I did it.
Like perform it?
Yeah, it would have to be a performance.
Yo, we don't need no Teddy Riley shit over here, yo, King. If you go in here, yo, King, you gotta play this shit off your phone with the computer. No Teddy Riley shit, King.
Nah, it would have to. No. That's my boy. I mean, you know what I'm saying? We had those are technical difficulties there. That's what you got. It wouldn't be like that. No, we would have to. If I did it, I think it would. It's got to be a situation where it's, it's a live thing for me. You know me. I'm live.
You ain't got to do that. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. But if you wanted to, the word I've been hearing about, the words I've been Timberland said you got to do it. The words I've been hearing is Bobby Brown, Keith Sweat, who's the real king of R&B. That's the talk. But I'm saying,
you forgot about my boy Jacquees, man.
Nah, fuck out of here with that. He's a good guy. He's a good kid.
That's my dude.
He's hot. He's a beautiful guy. He got a song with my artist Angelica Villa. We love him, the Birdman. But no, we talking about.
That's my boy.
We talking about Clash of the Titans. We talking about the Coliseum in Rome.
I know they can. I'm gonna let Tim and Swiss call me, and y'all, all three of y'all can team up on me.
I have nothing to do with it. I'm just a fan. Yo, listen.
Y'all can all team up on me.
And they called me behind your back, and they said, "Yo, man."
Yo, I'm gonna get him my number off the air. Y'all, they can hit me up. Sweat. I know Swiss already got my number because he gotta have my number. Swiss already got my number, but he can hit me.
Thank you very much.
I know. I've been listening. Everybody been.
Look, I don't care.
Yeah.
But if you want to do it, that's the name people been throwing in the air.
Everybody been calling me about that. Everybody, man.
They've been mentioning Bobby Brown.
Yeah, that's because there's really in my era, there's nobody else. The other person you can't do it.
The other person can't do it, huh?
So there's nobody else in my era, you know what I mean, other than Bob. I can't even think of nobody else in that era, that whole New Jack Swing era, you know what I mean? Because outside of that era, it doesn't work, you know what I mean, for me, you know what I'm trying to say? So Bob would be probably for me the closest thing. I can't really think of anybody else. If somebody else could think of somebody else and throw them at me, I'm good, you know what I mean? But I don't know. I think, it would probably have to be a live thing for me for me to make it work.
They're gonna do whatever you want to do. You know what I'm saying? And I was doing some snooping around, and they told me you had the most legendary dice games in the ATL in the history of dice. They said you had Diddy Shook. They said you had Diddy. You was killing them dudes.
Yeah. I mean that's either 7-Eleven or CeeLo. That's that CeeLo is that Harlem thing, baby. 4, 5, 6. You know
what I'm saying? 4, 5, 6.
That's
I was
4, 5, 6.
That since I was a kid.
Yeah,
so to the train station, they playing that CeeLo out there. 4, 5, 6.
Yeah, that's I used to do a lot of that. That was my thing. You know what I'm saying? So I don't get down like that anymore. But it was like
you ain't playing no dice no more.
Nah, I'm not. I'm good with all that. But I had some games. For them games, the games was incredible. When I did have them, they were.
They said you was destroying them. They said you had them under pressure.
Yeah.
Those. Anybody? What's one of the big shout out to my brother Guy 5001 on the check-in. What you don't gotta say you won or whatever, but what's a legendary game that you had? Who played with you? I know Diddy was one, because I heard you was abused.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that one.
Nah, they told me you was abusing Diddy.
I I forgot about that one. How they said I got the money, and then we went to the club next door. And they said, "Come on, we ain't finished. We ain't playing, man." I said, "I'm done, man. I'm not playing no more. I got this money."
You know, I beat him one time, and I don't gamble at all by beginner's luck.
I remember that one. That was a good one right there.
The man made me spend all the money I beat him in the strip club that night. He took Teddy Riley on the check-in. Teddy Riley here.
TR,
Teddy Riley's
what's up,
on
baby?
everybody on the check-in, man. But they said they keep giving me names who would keep. Yo, Keith ain't into that. If he is, it got to be the big. You know, it got to be the big owner. Keith Sweat, Bobby Brown. That's it. There's nothing else to be talked about. Everybody up, the other guy, we know where he at. You know what I'm saying? The other guy, we know where he at. You know, and so unfortunate, man. I won't even elaborate on that, but I'm gonna ask you one question before we leave. I don't know about you, but I've never seen no shit like this corona shit that's going on right now.
Right.
Like I never dreamed there would be, you know, like today's the first time in 2 months somebody came in my house because my AC broke. I live in Miami, shit 100 degrees. We gotta fix it.
Right.
And we are spraying every milk and cranny of some shit with some Lysol in here. I'm not playing. I don't want to talk to him. I have my man. I didn't even want him in my house.
Right.
What? Huh? You can't enjoy the show? You don't even want to come wave high, Keith Sweat. You know that's our guy. You love Keith Sweat. Yo, you know we worship you. I want you to hear the words worship. That's a different type of shit. That's not we that's another thing, right? But the corona is very, 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 very serious, right? Mm-hmm. And you lived through the HIV era, the AIDS era. Which one of these shits you think is worse?
I mean, I gotta really say, I think the AIDS era was crazy because we just didn't know where that was coming from. But this is kind of like the same thing because you don't know who got it, how it's going to hit you, when it do hit you, how it's going to affect you. Then they quarantine. With the AIDS, you were in quarantine. You didn't have to stay in the house. This one is like, you know, the food. You don't know if you should go and buy up all the food from the grocery store. You just don't know what you should do in this era. And I just want to say this to all the people out there, you know, if you're going to go out there, be very, very careful out there because I understand people got to understand what it is. I mean, I know there's a whole lot of people out there that just have to go out there and work because that they have to get that check because they have bills to pay. And it's unfortunate that it's like that. But when you go out there, just be very, very, very careful because, you know, I know just like you know, it's probably, you know what I'm saying, the people who are less fortunate that have to go out there and work, and they know that, and the government know that, everybody know that. So, and they know what
I say it's deliberate that they opened up Georgia and Atlanta first, and
I would say a lot of things are happening and they're not happening. They're happening for a reason. I don't think there's no mistake as to what's going on out here and why they're opening up certain places, why they're saying certain people have to work at the meat place when, you know what I'm saying, when they know that's infected or that's contaminated, you know, but like, that's why we have to all be smart about what we're doing and how we do it. You know what I mean? We understand, you know, it's always been a fight, you know, for us, you know what I'm saying? You know, people like ourselves, you know what I'm saying? It's always been a battle, you know. I mean, I grew up in the projects. I understood the fight when I was growing up. I understood, you know, the odds of me making it from not making it as a kid. You know, I just overcame those odds. And, you know what I'm saying, everybody's not fortunate like that. So, you know what I'm saying? I mean, you just got to stay prayed up. You just got to stay on your knees a lot of times. You know, we all say we believe in God, but, you know, we understand as we fall, but we all got to get up. You know what I'm saying? And if you fall, you might not get up, but you know there's another place that, you know what I'm saying? We all understand that this is not the end of all ends, you know, and people got to understand that, you know what I'm saying? If we leave here today, you got to ask yourself where you're going tomorrow. You understand what I'm saying? If you stay prayed up, you know where you're going tomorrow. So we got to understand, we all got to leave here, but you know there's a better place once we leave here if we're living the right way and doing the right things. And we just have to understand that.
Yeah, let me tell you something. You said it all. You know, I tell them this all the time. You ain't looked at me, gangster rap or whatever. I talk to the people, and I always end the show telling them that no matter what happens, we can't question God. We gotta stay prayed up. We gotta thank God for everything, man. Because
Right.
now it put us in a position of like where, you know, I'm gonna tell you something, and it's no disrespect, but I never really like, you know, I don't think I could say that, but there's certain spots I toured. We got to make our money on the road. So
Right.
there's certain spots I toured that I never really liked, and I wound up this morning sitting on the patio saying, "Man, I wish I was at that spot right now, performing right now." Like, so it taught me how to really, really, really. I think when this gets back to normal, God willing, we make it through. We're gonna appreciate so many things in life because we've been living like this for so long. And I'm not just talking about rich people. I'm talking about poor people. Poor people, I don't give a damn. We ain't have no money, but Chiquitina had a party in our house every night till 6 in the morning. So we still was having fun, no matter what. You know what I mean?
But you know what, Joe? Let me just say this. Like, if you look at how things are going in the world, we're living so recklessly right now. And, you know, sometimes God will do things to wake us up. This is just a wake up call to let people know, hey, I'm still in control. So regardless of what you think, I'm still in control. You know what I'm saying? So it's just really a wake up call for people to understand what this is really all about, you know, because, you know, you see what's going on. You see how things are going on, what's going on. You see that, you know, it's crazier now, you know, than it used to be when we were growing up. You understand what I'm saying? So sometimes you got to really get a wake up call to say, hold up. What is this all about? You know what I'm saying?
And bullshit. And I ain't going to say I've been living bad because, you know, I stay prayed up and I stay trying to do as much as I can for people. And I take care of 30 people still.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? But man, even me, I got caught up. I got caught up with all this material shit, buying all type of extra fly shit, this, that. And now I'm sitting there, I feel embarrassed to throw a watch on. I feel embarrassed to even get fly right now because people losing their lives. And so it taught me that less is more, that you know, simple is where it's at, and family is where it's at, and God is where it's at.
Right.
You know,
this allows you to appreciate your family. The funny thing, I told somebody this today, right? Being quarantined with someone, you was with him for the money or you was with him because it's real love. You know what I'm saying? So this alone is teaching a whole lot of people a whole lot of things. So like I said, you know, whenever I do my thing, whether it's live or, you know what I'm saying, an impromptu or whatever, it's like basically I'm gonna be like, yo, whether you with the one you love because you love them or whether you with them because you hate them, this goes out to both of y'all. You know what I mean? So because it is like it is. It just has taught us, and definitely has taught me a lot of things, and it has made me just more aware of a lot of things, and definitely I'm more appreciative of a lot of things because I lost my mom 4 years ago, and my sister, you know, the pancreatic cancer. You know what I mean? So it just, you know, I understand what it really is. It just puts you back into another frame of mind when all of this is going on and you see people's lives being lost because of this virus and because, you know, our government hasn't taken or done the things they needed to do to protect us from this type of situation. It just makes you more aware of a lot of things, man. That's it.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. You know, and that's part of my, when I can't sleep at night. My mother and father still alive, and I got them, you know, they well taken care of, but I extra pray for them. My mother's on the check-in right now, but it's like, it's crazy, B, because I worry about them. You know what I'm saying? I really worry about them and everybody, man. You know me, like you, we know so many people, we so popular, man. Every day, this shit is like regular. Every day they keep coming to me, yo, such and such died, such and such father died, such and such mother died. Yo, homegirl, she died. You know this one, he died. Yeah, every day. Because New York is where the war's at. And we from New York. Mm. And we know the projects, everybody live on top of each other. You know? So it's like, so I just feel so bad for everybody. At the same time, worried about me too. Mm-hmm. Nobody got on this world. Nobody got this shit under control. Nobody really could tell you they good. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So
right, that's true.
That's real talk.
Right.
I don't give a fuck. I know people, the richest people, the prime minister of the UK caught the shit. Your man Dolan, who owns the Knicks, caught the shit. Right. You could be the richest dude in the fucking world. You could be the billionaire of all billionaires. You will catch this shit. Tom Hanks caught the shit.
And you can't take none of the money. You can't. And you can't take none of the money with you. Can't take none of this with you. This all material.
None of that shit with you. So
can't take it with you.
So my thing is, everybody should practice the safe distancing, man. And if I was from Georgia, so if they open up Miami, I'm not coming out. I'm not coming out. I'm gonna let some people go out there and tell me if the coast is clear. I'm keeping it real.
Thank you, man. Yeah, that's true.
I'm keeping it real.
Right.
When they open this shit up, I'm not going out like that. I'm not going out. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to see what happens.
Right.
Let somebody test run this shit.
Right.
They want to be in the street, that's on them. They know not to be in the street, but I gotta stay home. I'm not running out there.
Right.
I'm not doing that. It's as simple as that. But yo, Keith, I love you, bro.
Love you back, boy.
Too much. It ain't too many people on this earth that love you more than me. My wife, my family, my dudes we grew up, but everybody I grew up with, that 88 shit, they love you, man. Everybody's on the check-in. The living legends on the check-in. Shout out, Mayor. Everybody, they love you, bro. We love you. You heard, Sweat?
Thank you, Joe. Peace, love you back, brother. Boy. Appreciate you, boy.
Be safe.
Be safe, man.